Hey everyone, welcome back to English Mode On. Learning English doesn't have to be boring, and today we're going to show you a fun way to improve your English using Netflix.
That's right. Watching Netflix shows can help you improve your listening skills, learn new vocabulary, and even understand how native speakers really talk. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Today, we'll teach you how to learn English effectively with Netflix.
A lot of people think they can just watch a show in English and magically become fluent. But if you don't have a strategy, you might just end up confused and frustrated.
Exactly. If you watch passively, you might pick up a few words here and there, but to really improve, you need to be more active in your learning process.
So let's talk about the best way to learn English with Netflix step by step.
First, choose the right show. Pick a show that matches your level. If you're a beginner, start with something simple like a kids show or a sitcom with clear pronunciation, like Friends or Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
If you're more advanced, you can try something more challenging, like Breaking Bad or Stranger Things. The key is to choose something that interests you so you stay motivated.
Also, shows with clear dialogue are better for learning than ones with a lot of background noise or mumbling. That's why sitcoms and dramas work well, but some action movies can be harder to follow.
Good point. And if you're really serious about learning, you can even watch the same episode multiple times to fully understand it.
Another great tip is to look for shows that have subtitles in both English and your native language. That way you can compare and check your understanding when necessary.
Yes, and try to pick a show that has natural conversations. Some shows, like fantasy or sci fi, might use difficult words that aren't common in everyday speech.
Second, use subtitles wisely. Subtitles can be tricky. If you're a beginner, start with English subtitles to help you connect words with their pronunciation, but try not to rely on them too much.
If you're intermediate or advanced, try watching with English subtitles first, then switch them off and see how much you understand. This will train your ears to listen carefully.
And don't use your native language subtitles because that can make you lazy. You want to think in English as much as possible.
A great trick is to pause when you see a new word. Write it down and then look it up later. Keep a notebook with all the new words and phrases you learn.
Some streaming platforms even have tools to show two subtitles at the same time. That way, you can compare translations while keeping the focus on English.
And for those who want an extra challenge, try watching with no subtitles at all and see how much you can understand just by listening.
Next tip is break it down. Don't try to understand everything all at once. Break it down scene by scene. If there's a difficult sentence, pause, replay, and listen again.
Yes, and if you hear an interesting phrase, write it down. You can even repeat it out loud to practice pronunciation.
This method is super helpful, especially for tricky accents or fast speech.
Another helpful tip is to watch a scene once without subtitles, then again with subtitles, and finally one more time without them. This helps reinforce your understanding.
Also, don't be afraid to rewind and watch certain parts multiple times. The more exposure you have to a phrase, the more naturally you'll remember it. Tip number 4, use the shadowing technique. Shadowing means repeating what the characters say right after them. It helps you improve your pronunciation and intonation.
For example, if you hear a line like, "I can't believe this is happening," pause and repeat it exactly how they say it. This way, you sound more natural when speaking English.
Try to match their tone, speed, and even emotion. This will help you sound more like a native speaker.
A great way to practice shadowing is by using a scene with simple dialogue. Repeat along with the actors and don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time.
You can also slow down the playback speed if a character speaks too fast. This helps you hear each word clearly and practice at your own pace. Tip number 5, focus on phrases, not just words. Instead of memorizing single words, pay attention to whole phrases. Native speakers use a lot of expressions and slang that you won't find in textbooks.
For example, in Friends, you'll hear phrases like, "How you doing?" which means, "How are you?" These little phrases make your English sound more natural.
Another example is, "What's up?" instead of, "How are you?" Small details like this make a big difference in fluency.
You can even write down the phrases and try using them in your own conversations. This helps reinforce them in your memory.
And don't just memorize phrases. Understand when and how to use them. Some expressions sound friendly, while others may sound too formal or casual. Tip number 6, practice speaking what you learn. The best way to remember what you learn is to use it. Try using the phrases in real conversations or even by talking to yourself.
You can also record yourself repeating lines from the show and compare your pronunciation with the actors. It's a fun way to improve.
And if you have a language partner, you can practice together by reenacting scenes from your favorite shows.
Another great idea is to write down a short dialogue using the new words and phrases, then practice saying it out loud.
Speaking out loud, even when you're alone, builds confidence. It's a great way to prepare for real conversations. Tip number 7, have fun and stay consistent. The most important thing is to have fun. If you enjoy watching, you'll naturally improve over time.
Exactly. Just make Netflix a part of your daily routine, and soon you'll see a huge improvement in your English.
And remember, consistency is key. Even just 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference.
If you find a show you really love, you'll be more likely to stick with it. The more exposure you have to English, the more comfortable you'll feel using it.
Learning a language is a long journey, but if you enjoy the process, it won't feel like work at all. Now, let's go over today's keywords and phrases.
Subtitles. The text at the bottom of the screen that translates or transcribes what characters say. Example, I watch movies with English subtitles to improve my listening skills.
Pronunciation. The way words are spoken. Example, shadowing helps improve your pronunciation.
Shadowing technique, a learning method where you repeat after a native speaker to match their accent and rhythm. Example, I use the shadowing technique to sound more natural in English.
Break it down. To separate something into smaller parts to make it easier to understand. Example, if a sentence is too fast, break it down into smaller parts.
Phrase, a group of words that go together in a sentence. Example, instead of learning single words, focus on phrases like take your time or hang in there. So that's it. Learning English with Netflix is fun and effective if you do it the right way.
Try these tips and let us know in the comments. What's your favorite show to learn English with?
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
See you next time.